Hello and welcome to this week's preview. Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Obviously a huge game within the context of things. United looking with the early kickoff on Saturday to once again, with a win, move up into second place against a team that we lost 4 times to last year, including, of course, in the Europa League final, all to Ange Postecoglou. Now, 3 of those losses came under Amorim and 1 came under Ten Hag, and all of them were pretty frustrating and pretty bad. So we will hope that we do not see that happening again. However, it's a different team. It's a different United. It's a different Tottenham. It's a different manager. It's a different season. At this point in time, of course, United and Tottenham level on points at 17. But I do think that there is context within that, and that's what I want to talk about here first in taking a look at this. United and Tottenham, of course, both here on 17 points level, 1 point behind third, 2 points behind second. But if you look at the underlying numbers here, there's kind of a reason why Tottenham have been struggling recently. They had quite a hot start to the season. But if you look overall, they massively overperformed within their first few games. I mean, if you go back a month from now, you will see Tottenham in third with 13 goals. In the last 3 games, they've only scored 1 goal and gotten 3 points. But if you look at that by the numbers, you can see as well, 11 expected goals, 17 scored, massive overperformance, while they should have conceded 14 and have only conceded 8. So they've been overperforming their metrics hugely. And as we know, and as you know from listening to me and on my channel, I'm a huge believer in the fact that the numbers don't lie and they will catch you. And we're seeing that in recent games with Tottenham struggling. They have a terrible record recently, especially at home, and they've been really struggling the last month or so, while United have been much more in form. Of course, it's any given Saturday, any given Sunday, any day of the week, anything can happen. And these underlying numbers and their underperformance and an overperformance of those numbers don't mean, of course, that the game is a gimme or a walk in a park or it's guaranteed to go right. But, of course, we should consider that it is possible, and we should be going into this game with the feeling that we can and should win. And we need to have that kind of confidence and that kind of belief. If you look at it, they should be on -3 expected goals. Instead, they're +9. That is a crazy swing. 12 goal over performance, but the performances are catching up. Whereas with United, we're on the same number of points, but we should be on a +4 goal differential, okay? So really, we should be 7 goals better than them, but I think we're 11 goals worse than them. Crazy, the performance, how it all plays out in reality and on the pitch. So lots to think about with that, but United should be and have been performing better than Tottenham. But you got to go and win, and you've got to go and win in London, and you've got to go and win early on Saturday. And I feel like those games have been really tough for us. Now, the other thing I want to look at is the difference in Tottenham's style these days and what they are doing, which for me tells me how we want to defend against them and how I want to pick my team as well for how we want to play. First and foremost, they are the highest volume crosses into the box team in the Premier League per 90 with a fairly good success rate. So they love to cross the ball. They love to get in the box. Essentially, Tottenham's way of playing is when they get the ball, get it out wide, cross into the box. There's similarities in there about how, they don't progress through the middle. In some ways, we do the same. But we obviously have a little bit more dynamism in how we're creating and getting chances. We're doing crosses, but not only crosses. And if you look at this chart as well, you can see that Tottenham here are actually one of the lowest counter-attacking sides in England, where United are the highest counter-attacking side in England as well, and decent pressing and things like that. So it makes for a pretty interesting matchup that in some ways should suit United. They don't play fast through the middle. They don't go through the middle too much. They go out wide. They cross it into the box. That means we can use maybe some of our slower defenders to defend against those crosses, to stop them, and hopefully our improved keeper helps us this time compared to last time. So I'll get to my lineup here in a minute. But before that, I got to tell you, obviously, 5:30 a.m., I will be there for the Big Up on Big Up. Link is below for the watch along, and I do hope you'll join me there. But in addition, there is a special competition game this week where you can win a significant amount of money by playing the game. And there are also 2 additional incentives. Number 1, just for playing the game, you will receive 500 big bucks back. So if you have utilized and have big bucks from playing other competitions, or you just pay to play, you will get 500 big bucks back, the equivalent of $5. And one more huge incentive: anybody who enters into this competition on anyone's channel on Big Up this weekend will be entered into raffle to win $25,000. Yes, that number is correct. $25,000. Someone will win. Someone won 10,000 bucks earlier this week. So huge incentives. And here's how you play. The link is below. You head on over there. You go to my channel. You click on games, and you find this here. And it's a simple pick'em game. There are 6 options here. You can pick a minimum of 2 to enter, and then you submit your amount. And listen, it's a competition, okay? This is not a thing. I don't do gambling where you can pay $50 and we can drain people's bank accounts and things like that. No, it's a maximum of $6 US, okay, which is the equivalent 600 big bucks, which is the equivalent of $6 US. And you can play and win based on that. And you can see how you select them if you go for all of these, that the odds line up, because essentially it's an accumulator of all your choices where you can get all the way up to massive odds. You can see here 10, if you put $6 in, which is the maximum, you can win a maximum of $225 on a power play. In addition, you can play flex play, which allows you to miss out on 1 or 2 predictions being incorrect and still win. So you only need to get 4 out of your 6 correct if you do that, and you have these different options of amounts that you can play. You do that, you click play, you pay your big bucks, and you enter. And as a reminder, you'll need to be in the UK or Spain or take a little trip over there in order to do that. So I'll be making my picks on this and playing. And yeah, things like Cunha, will he score a goal or have an assist? Richarlison, score a goal or be carded. Tell, score a goal or be carded. Šeško, goal or assist. Will there be over 4.5 cards? So they have these 6 options. You pick the ones you think are going to happen. As minimum, you can pick 2 to play on the power play. You have to have at least 3 for a flex play. But then you can go between 2 and 6, and you can win good money for playing. Everybody who wins or who gets the picks right will win a prize. But in addition, you will be automatically entered to win $25,000. And you get your $5 back, essentially. So you pay 6, you get 5 back. It costs you $1 to play this week. It's a no-brainer. So I'm not going to show you my picks right now. Maybe before the game I will. But make sure, use the link below, head over, enter to play now, and get your chance to win. Now, speaking of then the game itself and everything that I've covered, this is what I would go with for the lineup. For a few reasons. Number one, with the pace that Tottenham have in their back line and the way that they defend, I see similar to Liverpool with those strong center backs that I don't think we want to go directly on the run in the counter with Šeško playing up against them. I think we want to support the middle. They're very energetic in the middle of the pitch. I think that we need a bit more middle support, and that will help drag defenders around to create a bit more space for Bryan Mbeumo. So I would go back to the Liverpool front 3, Cunha, Mount, and Mbeumo. That will allow us to play direct if they're pressing us too hard and knock and win those second balls down and get in behind them, but also allows us just to play through a little bit more. This isn't because I don't think Šeško's any good or that I don't want him to play a lot, but I really like this setup. And I really think it worked quite well against teams that want to press you like Tottenham do also, and gives you a bit more options. I also think it's going to be a struggle to get behind them. And Cunha, with the way that he moves, and Mount make more space for someone like Mbeumo to get in behind, and we need him going again. Because they don't counterattack with a lot of pace, I think you're still okay with your Bruno and Casemiro midfield. And because they're crossing the ball a lot, I would also pick Harry Maguire in the middle for this one. We've missed him in games where teams are crossing a lot against us. When we played against Chelsea, as soon as he came off, we conceded. We struggled with it against Forest. I would get Maguire back in the side again, as we did versus Liverpool. and to defend against those crosses. And I think that gives us the best chance of shutting down anything Tottenham want to create. And I'm always going to say it, but I'm going to pick Dorgu out wide. But in this game, again, for a very specific reason, he is more pacey. He is better at defending and getting up and down in those wide areas that Tottenham attack. And I think he is better at closing down crosses where Dalot seems to not block them ever. So this would be my team for this week. This is the route that I would go, that front three, get Maguire back into the side against the crosses, and I think we can really stifle anything that Tottenham want to create. Now, a couple more little stats I wanted to share about United that have changed, where we're getting really good. That is very exciting. This was last year. This is about counter pressure efficiency. You can see that last year we were not very good. We counter-pressed a bit, but we were incredibly inefficient with it, where we did not win the ball. Now, counter-pressing is when you lose the ball high, do you immediately get back in to try to win it back up the pitch in quick areas. Different to just pressing, but counter-pressing, regaining the ball quickly. If we look at it this year, this has been transformative. United are the best counter-pressing team in the league in terms of regains, in terms of numbers, in terms of everything. Really, really good. So this is an advantage we can push against Tottenham. Get them shoved in deep. They don't counter that well, so we should lay on that counter pressure. Right? When we look at those numbers, we can see that they're not going to counterattack us quickly. We don't have to worry about the counterattacks so much. So push all the way up the pitch, try to pin them, and get in control of this game. Win the ball back quickly. We don't have to worry about the counters so much. Win the ball back, sustain some pressure, score some goals, and block those crosses on the other end, and we should be good. So I'm predicting that we'll concede somehow, but I think we can win this game 2-1. And head into the international break in a really, really good sense. And there's some good matchups above this in the table that mean, at minimum, if with a win, we should go up 2 places, 3 places maybe. So into that top 5 is really, really feasible this week as well, I hope. But they need this one. We need this one. We need to head into this break with positivity. The last international break until quite a while, February, I believe, and we get into a really busy period where there's going to be more rotation, more changes, and things like that. So this is a big one, and we've got to break that mark against Tottenham that we haven't had as of yet. We broke it against Brighton, broke it against Liverpool, even to a degree broke it against Nottingham Forest because we've lost 3 times in a row. We've got to beat Spurs. We cannot lose again. Okay? That's what I've got for this video. That's what I've got for the preview. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. And I will see you over on Big Up in the Morning. And don't forget, use the link down below. Enter the competition. Your chance to win money, win prizes, win the competition, but also be entered to win the huge prize of potentially $25,000. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy.